Hello. Welcome back to another ASMR video. Today, as you can hear by my voice, I am doing a more soft-spoken video rather than whispering, which I usually do. Some of you this may be the first time you're actually hearing my vocalization rather than just my whisper. So, yeah, I thought I'd do just a quick little video. Don't really know what it's going to be like. Just thought I'd do one as I am visiting family this weekend, so I need to get some video making done before then. I literally just edited all of my videos. Luckily, I play a game. It's a Wednesday today, and I play a game on a Wednesday morning. Not one of my main games that I run, but a game that a friend runs, and so I play in it. But we didn't have it today, thankfully, which means I can do a bunch of editing. So I've got myself some really good discos, which are a brand of crisps in the UK. I don't know if they're universal, but I mean they're just kind of a cheap brand. And then just look at that, a little muffin. It's just a chocolate chip muffin. This is not my lunch, but it is a snack that I'm having. I am absolutely starving. You might have just heard my stomach. Thank you for the evidence. So, got the discos. I'm just going to be taking a bite, going to be eating and just chatting a little bit about some, I don't know, some bullshit. Some good stuff. Just checking the gain's not too high, because obviously with the soft spoken video it's a little bit more difficult to gauge the volume. Got myself my bottle of water. Just eating away, I guess. So I suppose I did have a topic to ramble about, but it's not anything major. So, those of you that have been on the channel a little while might know that Katie loves reality TV, from things like Big Brother to Love Island to all sorts of things. But I mean, she likes some competitive TV shows like Great British Bake Off, but that's a different kind of breed. That's a different sort of reality TV show. She likes things like Love Island, and I never watched any of that stuff. I mean, I watched Big Brother back in the day when my mum and my sister enjoyed watching it, and it was just on, but I would never really follow it. Never cared for Love Island or any of that kind of, what I guess it's like garbage TV, right? That's what it is. But when I met Katie the first year, she was watching it, and I just kind of like, I'm sure this happens to so many partners, and I know it's a thing, which is you see them watching a TV show, and you like see it and start watching it a little bit more, just because you're like maybe eating dinner together, and then you start asking questions. Oh, who's that? Oh, what's going on here then? As soon as I know I've asked a question, I know I've been drawn in. That's what happened with Love Island. That's what happened with what's the pod one, where they're in like pods and they don't see each other. Love is Blind. Some of which I'm pretty sure are like Australian shows that went to the US and then are now in the UK. But in particular, one of the more recent ones here was Married at First Sight. Now, I've not watched the overseas versions, like the original. and I think there was a US one. I've not seen either of them. I've seen clips, I've seen bits and pieces, and I know that she has watched it, but I never got pulled into it. Anyway, she started watching the UK one, which came out fairly recently. And I got drawn into it because I'm just addictive to that sort of thing, I guess. However, it's just kind of reignited. I watched a handful of the episodes and I was getting drawn in, and I was like, God, some of these people are just like really like scummy. And they don't need to be on a show about getting married, they need to be in therapy. And the thing is, I know the show has like therapists on it, particularly like marriage therapists, but that's the sort of work that needs to be done privately. You're having your insecurities broadcast to the world, and it's just super weird. And I thought, oh, like, if it's like little things, it's not a big deal, right? If anything, it's good to show those sorts of relationships, showing how things can be, there can be issues in relationships and in marriages, and how you navigate those with the help of these therapists, which would be really interesting, more documentary style. But one of my biggest pet peeves with some of these shows is calling these things experiments. Like, this is just an experiment. No. It's a reality TV show and they're there to exploit you. Nothing else. It's not there for your benefit. It's not scientific. It's not an experiment. It's exploitation. And this season has really made me open my eyes, not just to Marriage at First Sight, not Married at First Sight, but all these other shows as well. It's just, and I know that they existed this way beforehand, but there was just like a few particular things in this show that made me go, this should not be aired. So in the UK version, if you've not been watching it, in the UK version, there are two couples where one of the partners is just not attracted to the other person. And to me, that's like make or break, right? If you're married to someone, if you're in a relationship with someone, and you're not attracted to them, and that's an issue for you both, like, that relationship's not going anywhere. It doesn't matter. Because if they're not attracted to you, that's never going to change. And there was this one guy, and there's two guys that are just insufferable. Absolutely insufferable twats. But one of them literally basically said, you're fat. It's this one girl. And she's not. It's just ridiculous. And she stayed with him. And all of the therapists, rather than just properly call it out, have been like, so why do you think you went to her weight? Which is, fair in a personal one-on-one session, but he's not attracted to this woman. It might be something that he needs to deal with, but at the same time, you can't. People are going to have preferences whether you like it or not, And if he's not attracted to her, what he said is wrong, but he can't help it being attracted or not being attracted. But what he can help is staying there as well. He should turn around and be like, right, this is not going to work because I just don't feel that way. And it's obvious that he's there for money, clearly, in TV exposure. He's not interested, nor is the other guy. And there's another couple, which I think has just been awful. Because, as far as I'm aware, I don't know about, overseas shows. This is the only gay couple on the entire show. A lesbian couple. and one of them is gaslighting and abusing her, and is like turning everyone else against her, to the point in which she's like apologising for things that she hasn't done, you know, and one of them is just playing a victim, and it's just ridiculous. And I said to Katie, I stood up at that point, I was just like, I can't watch this anymore, because this show is just, it's pretending to be something it's not. It is exploiting vulnerable women for the purpose of entertainment, and then puts it off as an experiment because they're going to help. But if it was really for their protection, their safety, if they really cared and it wasn't for TV, that wouldn't have happened, because what would have happened there is a producer would have stepped in and gone, hold on a second, this is unacceptable. We know, we've literally got footage of how you've been treating this person, so shut up. And they didn't. And then other people have got involved, and it's just like a whole mess. There's so much drama on it, and you know, if it wasn't like exploitative, the drama is kind of interesting. You know, we're humans. Many people live for drama. And you know, as somebody who studied theatre, come on now. But at the expense of someone's, you know, mental health, at the expense of just someone in general, I just don't think it's acceptable. And it's one of the worst examples I've seen now. Things like X Factor, things like, you know, X has Got Talent, X being the country that it's set in. They always exploit people. Like, that's just how it works. Especially X Factor and Britain's Got Talent, those two. Or whatever talent it is, whatever country. They'll get people who are bad, big them up, and then exploit them for laughs on TV at their expense. And it's just disgraceful, you know, because people laugh and think like, oh, you think you were talented? Well, of course they do, because they were told. They were told they were going to be a star. And it's just, it verges on evil, in my opinion. Which I know is a strong word, but I do think it does verge on that area, in my opinion at least. Maybe I'm just being dramatic, but I don't think so. So yeah, I kind of had my fill with that show. I don't watch Britain's Got Talent or X Factor anymore. I think it's just a pile of garbage. Love Island. Do you know what? The thing is with Love Island, it's not good. But at least it doesn't pretend to be something else, you know. It doesn't pretend to be an experiment. It doesn't pretend to be anything more than a show for drama. They know what it is. And the people who go into it should know what it is. So at least you kind of get an idea. But this other show, like, there are people in it that should just not have been part of the experiment. I hate that you just use that. They shouldn't have been part of the show. Like, this woman in the lesbian couple who doesn't want to interact with the show at all, won't do any of the tasks, and then all the blame is put on the other person for like caring, you know. And then the worst part about it for me is because it's like the only gay couple on there, it does the opposite of like being good, right? Because on the one hand you could say, well, great, you've got like a diverse cast, they've got a gay couple on there, that's brilliant. It's like normalising it on dating shows and things like this, which, you know, is a gradual change, because you never used to see that. It was always like, don't talk about it, it was never on there. But now, that's what you would see. But the only couple that's on there is being represented in a bad way, right? So it's all it's doing is giving fuel to bigots and homophobes to then say, well, look at that, see, doesn't work out, does it? And like, or look, like women who are very masculine are just as bad. And it's like, well, God, fuck, it's just not, it's not good. It's not good, and it does the opposite of what considering diversity when you're hiring should do, which is to you know, give representation to, like, that would be, I mean, certainly in a show like that, given what it is, it should be positive, but, you know, it's just as shady and shitty as the rest of the show. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm looking into it too much, but it just seems very, very exploitative, especially of women that have insecurities, and then when the men they're put with are not interested in them, to then just not do anything about it, you know? To not step in and go, okay, we're going to end this now because we don't think this is good for you. We think that he is lying to you and he's, you know, this is bordering on abuse. We're going to take you out of that situation. They don't, because it makes good TV, it makes good drama. And it's not even just, you know, the men on there. There was another woman on there that, I can't remember who it was now, but she had said to someone, like, she'd said to her partner who was, like, opening up about things, like, oh, I don't want to hear your sob story, or something like that, and it was like, what kind of, like, psychopath says something like that to someone you've just met, someone who's opening up about their thing? And the worst part about it afterwards is it cut away to a scene where she was crying. It was just like, and like telling her sob story, and all I could think was like the hypocrisy. Now obviously a lot of these shows are edited in certain ways for dramatic effect, you know, and there's always a chance there's stuff behind the scenes that you don't see, but there are like really specific moments where we have seen certain people like that. I mean, first of all, the attraction thing you can't edit away, because I mean, people say what they say, and you can't edit the assumption that someone is unattracted when they're literally saying that over a period of time and it's obvious. The kind of like the lying and gaslighting stuff is more easier to edit around and kind of presume that, but there have been like scenes that were shown where it's like she's been told that she's shouting at her, but she never did. Like, there was no shouting. She was just confronting an issue, being like, so, you know, you left again. And then to be told, I'm not going to continue to keep shouting at me. No one's shouting. Literally no one's shouting. But she just doesn't want to take accountability, and this other woman is getting the brunt of it from everyone else as well. And it's just like, because this other person, Eve, has gone around telling everyone everything. But, you know, I should probably be careful. I don't want to get ceased and desist here, you know. But there we go, guys. Reality TV, real difficult one, eh? Do you guys watch any? Have you guys watched Married at First Sight? I don't recommend it. I can't recommend it. And I don't really have any plans to watch it again. If I happen to see it when I'm in the same room, I'll see it when I'm in the same room. But yeah, I don't want to indulge in entertainment that exploits women, you know. So, or just anyone with, you know, vulnerabilities. That's my hot take. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Had my discos with my muffin. Drank a little bit of water. Yeah, so if you did enjoy the video, guys, I really appreciate a little like down below. Consider subscribing, pressing the bell icon. Consider checking out the videos appearing over here. Whoa, there they are. And I will see you in whatever video comes next. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.